Welcome to Everything You Need to Know About the Ascension of Humanity, the podcast where ancient wisdom meets modern science and spiritual evolution gets real. I'm Heather, an energy healer, channel, and spiritual coach with Divine Ascension Company. Each week, we're diving deep into the mysteries of human consciousness, spiritual awakening, and the profound transformation happening within us and around us. But here's the thing, we're not doing this with our heads in the clouds. We're bringing neuroscience, psychology, quantum physics, and cutting-edge research to the table alongside meditation, energy work, and timeless spiritual teachings. Because the truth is, the ascension of humanity isn't some far-off cosmic event. It's happening right now in the choices we make, the awareness we cultivate, and the healing we do within ourselves. Whether you're curious about how mindfulness literally rewires your brain, why shadow work is backed by depth psychology, or what coherence between your heart and mind actually means scientifically, you're in the right place. We'll explore practices like breathwork, meditation, and emotional alchemy, not as abstract concepts, but as tangible tools grounded in both spiritual wisdom and scientific understanding. And here's where it gets even better. In our bonus episodes, you'll hear from real people sharing real stories. These are the warriors, the healers, the everyday seekers who've walked through their own darkness and found their light. They'll share their breakthroughs, their struggles, and the resources that actually help them along the way. Because personal growth isn't a solo journey, and you deserve to know you're not alone. So whether you're just beginning to question the nature of reality, or you're deep in your spiritual practice, this podcast is your companion on the path. It's time to expand, to awaken, and to rise together. Let's begin. Hey guys, and welcome to the very first episode. I am so excited to finally be bringing this podcast to fruition. I've been talking about it for so long. This is very important to me, and I'm super excited to finally get this thing started and to share all this wonderful info with you guys. Our guest today is Ryan Alter. He's a very special friend of mine. He is related to my ascension. He's my ascension buddy. He also helps me with my channeling, and we've learned quite a lot together and from each other. Ryan, why don't you introduce yourself a little bit?
Well, Heather, thank you so much, first of all, for having me on, and any other special guests we might be bringing on today as well. As introduced, my name is Ryan Alter. I've been a medium for many years, a channel for just a few years, and as everybody else, been on my path. It's had its ups, it's had its downs, it's had its amazing points, and it's had its WTF is going on. And so my hope in having this conversation with Heather today and possibly bringing through some guests is that we give you a little bit of hope, a little bit of I'm not alone, and a little bit of laughter, because as most of the energies that we bring through say, you have to have fun and play with it.
Awesome. Can you share a little bit about how you got to where you are now?
So I'm assuming you're talking like from the spiritual side, yes?
Yes.
Okay, very good. And so, first of all, know that my primary brain training over my life has been that of a CEO. Okay, I've ran a successful IT company for over 20 years. I work on consulting with other companies to help them in their business practices. About 3 years ago now, I had an out-of-body experience that kind of changed my perspective on life. I always joke sometimes the universe starts by whispering in your ear, then nudging you on the arm, and then possibly slapping you upside the face if you really need it. I think this was my slap upside the face. In a loving way, but it got my attention and it made me kind of course correct life a little bit. And now I try to help people as much as I can. I say that I'm still like the first grader when it comes to these things. Like I'm still figuring it out. I'm still playing with it. But what I'm learning through this journey is that I like not knowing. I like the just like blindly playing with it. And sometimes it gets me in trouble, and my guides laugh about that. And they say, well, figure your way out of it. And I do. Um, but one of my hopes and goals for coming on this show today is to not only be able to share some of my experiences with the audience, but if each and every one of you take away one little nugget, and hopefully that nugget could be profound, or it could be as simple as, oh, thank God I'm not alone in this. And let's say that's success for today.
Mm-hmm. So, what is the definition of the ascension to you? What does that term mean to you?
Mm. So I'm going to take a very individualized approach to this. Ascension means to go up. For each and every one of us to raise our vibrations, even if it's just a little bit, and recognize how that changes our consciousness, recognize how that changes our perspective on life. Let's not try biting off the apple of the entire ascension of the planet and humanity and all of those things. We can do our part by going inside, focusing on our inner dialogue, and maybe starting to look at some of these events that happen to our life with a different viewpoint of compassion and understanding versus what might have set us into anxiety and fear before. How beautiful would that be?
That would be very beautiful. So tell us a little bit about your guides.
Ah, yes. So let me tell you first how I met my guides. I was searching. I did a QHHT session. And for those of you who may not be familiar with that, it's a quantum healing hypnosis technique pioneered by Dolores Cannon, in which a practitioner will put you into a state of meditation and hypnosis and allow you to be able to clear past life trauma that may be impacting you in this life. So I'll give you an example. Say, for example, you have a fear of water and drowning, but you have no reason in this lifetime to believe that that should be anything that you would be afraid of, like you've never had an incident. Odds are you probably died by drowning in some past lifetime. And that's where that comes from. And being able to clear that in a past lifetime will allow you to have a more productive lifetime this go around. So after going through one of those sessions, what you find is that channel, the veil gets a little bit thinner when you do that, and that channel stays open for a little bit of period on afterwards. And I was no exception to this. And one morning, I woke up, and it wasn't me speaking through my vessel, through my body. It was a different energy. I was still there, I was still conscious of it. But I met my guides and had my channel come online at the same time. And how amazing of an experience to be able to literally directly talk to your guides. And so one of the first things I used to do is ask who they were. And what you're going to find is the other side tends to answer through energetic frequencies, but we as humans tend to want words. And so we settled on the elders. That's what I refer to them as. I see them as a group of three energetic beings that do not have true form on the other side of the veil. And their stated goal is to help humanity with its ascension. And since I've gotten to know them more and more, they've done nothing to dissuade me that that is their ultimate mission. That is the meditations we lead, the people we bring together. And so over the time that I've gotten to know the elders, they've grown on the other side, and they've helped me grow.
It sounds amazing.
It can be, it has its moments, that's for sure.
I know a lot of people have a hard time even connecting to their guides, so the fact that you get to speak with them whenever you want is truly amazing. I want to go back to the Ascension for a moment. You mentioned something about independently raising your vibration. Can you explain a little bit more about what that looks like?
Hmm. So, everything's energy. Your vessel, your light body, the chair you're sitting in right now. Everything has a vibration. And what you will find through practice and intention, does not happen by accident, is that you receive more of what you are. So a lot of people say, oh, I am so sad. No, you're not. You in your mind set forth, you are so happy. And more happiness will come to you. For what you are doing is you are setting the vibration of your thoughts. And you might think that this is silly, inconsequential. This is one of the most important things you can be doing. For this is the basis of everything. Your guides are going to have a hard time communicating with you if you are at a lower vibration. Let's talk about what a lower vibration is. Fear, anxiety, fight or flight. Those are valid human emotions, but you do not want to live in them. They're meant to be momentary. And so, by changing the way you look at things, and it's kind of a chicken and an egg thing, right? To raise your vibration, you have to look at things differently. To look at things differently, you also help raise your vibration. And so you work on both at the same time. And one of the things that my guides have done is give us some tools in the toolbox. They joke about, they call it the ascendometer. What a silly name.
I think it's
But
fun.
it's something that allows you to understand what vibration feels like and gives you a tool to start that very first step towards raising your vibration.
Mm-hmm. And I think that this is because you always hear people talk about raising our vibration, and I see people like in Facebook groups and stuff all the time, like, well, how can I do that? How can I do that? And you always see the same things like change your diet, change your exercise, change, like, listen to music and dance and move your body and stuff. And I think that those things, even though they do work, ultimately changing your thoughts, your actions, your words, the things you say, because those are all vibrations as well, I think is the foundation of that. Because yes, your diet, your exercise, not putting toxins in your body, all of those things do help. But I think that if you want to make substantial jumps in your vibration, that changing those thought patterns, the words that you say, the things that you do is going to cause an even bigger rise in your vibration than just not eating meat. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And the rest will come. I mean, it's important to do things that bring you fun and joy, like dancing and singing and being in nature, stuff like that. But also, in addition to that, I think that what we're talking about is extremely important. And it takes work. It takes a little conscious effort, but Once you do it for a little while, it becomes second nature, and it truly does. I mean, I've just from personal experience noticed that it truly does make a huge difference.
Yes, I think it's a matter of inches and feet.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to raise your vibration an inch, yes. I think that dancing, depending on the situation, right? But I think that dancing could definitely do that. What we're looking for is long-term pattern changes. You're not going to like be in dance mode for the rest of your life, okay? But you can be in a positive thought process for most of the rest of your life.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So I think when people hear the term ascension or the event or the solar flash, which we're going to talk about another day, I think it makes the whole process, the whole concept a little intimidating for people. So you said not to bite off the whole apple of the collective ascension, but how does raising your vibration affect your ascension and then ultimately the ascension of everyone else and the planet, because she's ascending with us as well?
Mm-hmm. That was a lot.
Sorry.
So I want to bring this down to the basics. Let's take your happiness. One happy person can spread a lot of love, spread a lot of joy for a lot of grumpy people. Okay? And we're purposely going to avoid commonly used phrases around this. We're going to use different words. And who doesn't want to be happy, right? I would think that most people would want to be happy. And so, what does it mean to focus on your joy? We're going to replace joy with ascension, or vice versa. Most people don't know what brings them joy. Well, let's go find out. Do puppies bring you joy? Do kitties bring you joy? Do fall colors bring you joy? Go explore, go play, go see. And you're like, well, I can't go get a puppy, a kitty, or go see fall colors. Okay. What about that warm blanket? Does that warm blanket bring you joy? Focus on that one thing. This is literally something you can do for free right now to help raise your own ascension, to raise your own joy. And so go cuddle with that warm blanket. Remember that feeling. Remember that vibration. And now put yourself in a challenging situation. Maybe it is a loved one who is pushing your buttons. Maybe it is a coworker that is pushing your buttons. And instead of allowing their energy in and letting it color the rest of your day, you approach it with love and compassion. But what you do for yourself is you remember that warm, fuzzy blanket. And you can be getting berated by someone. And you can literally see their energy bounce off of your warm, fuzzy blanket. How wonderful. You now have a tool in which is like your magic armor as you walk through life. And we'll give you a hint. When you don't respond the way they think you're going to, and you respond with love and compassion, you get them to think a little bit differently. In theory, you just help them with their ascension.
Well, I think those are wise words of wisdom for sure. So I want to ask the elders if they would like to leave a message, since this is their bread and butter here, they can take as much time as they want. If they want to leave some words of wisdom, some suggestions, some whatever message they have for humanity. The stage is theirs.
Well, Heather, we thank you for giving us this stage.
You're most welcome.
We would like to start by saying congratulations to everyone who is listening to this. For it is showing that you have an interest in yourself. And we want to start with self-love. We would like to start with learn how to love yourself so that you can love others in the most full and complete way possible. We've seen lots of human energies, and this is the number one thing that we see people needing to work on. Why would you not want to love yourself, to care for yourself, to cuddle yourself in that blanket, that warm blanket, all the time? You are way too hard on yourselves. This is not that serious. Yes, you're here to learn lessons. You're also here to have fun. Enjoy life. We are going to give you a secret to your ascension right now. Don't tell anybody. The best thing that you can do to help yourself, to love yourself, is to follow your highest passion. Listen to that voice of, I so really want to do X, Y, Z. You know the voice we're speaking of. And we were joking. You can tell anyone you want. We don't want to go too far down the rabbit hole. We want to keep this extremely attainable. Find your warm blanket, carry it with you, emotionally, mentally. The first step is remembering that it exists. The second step is being brave enough to pull it out in those situations and cuddle yourself in it. The third step is to find the compassion for the other person. Those might sound easy. They can be challenging in the heat of the moment. And then listening to that inner monologue. Oh, I really want to start XYZ company. I think I would do really good at that. I really want to go to this one place. I'm feeling drawn to that. Congratulations, you're starting to hear your guides.
Is it really that simple?
Does it need to be more complicated?
No.
It is that simple. We say that is the main thing that humanity does, is they think things have to be so complicated, when actually most of this is just that simple.
Well, all of that sounds like something that anyone could start right now.
And it costs you nothing. And the payoff is joy.
That sounds beautiful. Do you have any other parting words of wisdom while you're here?
We think for now this is an excellent starting point.
Very well.
The words may be simple, but they are profound.
Mm-hmm. Well, we thank you for coming and leaving us those amazing pointers, and I hope to have you on the show again for sure. You guys always have wonderful advice and little tidbits of information that have certainly helped your vessel and I along our path, and I would love to share that with everyone.
We would be most honored to come back.
Awesome.
We thank you. We thank you. We thank you.
And we thank you as well.
And with that, we are gone.
Awesome. Well, I think all of that was very useful, very simple, very relatable advice for people, at least to start getting the ball rolling. I hope that people take that to heart, because it is really that simple. You know, we expect things to be complicated and we overanalyze everything, and at the end of the day, what I have found is that it really is that simple. It just takes that first step, which is sometimes the hardest, but it really does get everything started. And you mentioned something earlier about the ascendometer, and I just wanted to share that if you want to learn how to use this ascendometer that we were talking about, on how to flow energy and how to get that part of the spiritual energy flow, how to connect to that side of things, we do have a video on YouTube that does explain how to use it if you're interested. Divine Ascension Co. That is the name of our website as well as the YouTube channel. So feel free to check that out. Ryan, do you have anything else you want to share with everyone?
So when you're in channel, you get a lot of information behind the scenes that doesn't come out in the words. The elders saw this as very much a first step in building their relationship with the audience and teaching them how to communicate with their guides. They wanted to keep it super simple, super brief, and super attainable, and that is going to be their goal in future episodes as well.
Awesome. I look forward to that. Yeah. And out of a lot of the energies that we've spoken to over the past year, I'd have to say that they are one of the most fun to interact with. So I look forward to being able to share that with everyone as well. And I know they're looking forward to it.
For sure.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Ryan, for being on the show and for sharing all of this with us. I hope to have you on again soon.
It was an honor. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Well, guys, I hope you really enjoyed the first episode. This has been amazing. Feel free to share, like, and subscribe. Also, feel free to go to our website. It's divineascensionco.com and check out all the great things we have coming up. There's a lot of really good info on there. Trip to Egypt, my YouTube channel, all kinds of stuff. So feel free to go check that out, and I look forward to the next episode.